So I just finished watching Sonny Boy. And I kind of just want to talk about it for a bit. Like, this video isn't going to have some overarching goal or some grand message I'm trying to convey. No. Honestly, I just finished a few moments ago and now I'm just staring at my ceiling and gonna just word vomit my initial thoughts and impressions into a script and then make it into a video. By the way, this is not going to be a review for Sonny Boy, nor is this going to be a Sonny Boy explained video. I don't think I have enough brain cells for that. And this isn't me trying to sound all pretentious or anything. Like, I'm not here trying to be all like, oh, look at me, this is fucking art. Wow, so deep. What? You don't understand the depth? Oh, you fucking idiot! No. I'm just some guy on the internet with no fancy degree, just word vomiting his janky scuffed opinions about some abstract Chinese cartoon in a shitty YouTube video. Yeah. Now back to Sonny Boy. When I first finished it, I didn't even know if I liked the show. But what it did do was make me think. And if that was its goal, then god damn it, it did a mighty fine job at that. And as for constructing my thoughts and how this video is going to be laid out, I'm thinking I'm just going to run through the beginning, middle, and end, kind of like a recount, and then just sprinkle in my thoughts and opinions as we go along. And yes, there will be spoilers. I mean, no shit, duh. So if you want to come to your own conclusion about Sonny Boy, please go ahead and watch it first. This is just the conclusion that I came to when I finished watching Sonny Boy. I don't know, man, it's a really fucking weird show. At first, I didn't like it. Well, to be more specific, I found the beginning kinda boring. Like, I get it, we're still trying to introduce the characters and establish the world and the rules and play, yada yada yada. But initially, I honestly thought it was gonna be a battle royale. Like one of those animes where it's about forming alliances and factions and to see who's the last man standing. Like your Hunger Games, Fortnite, or my personal favorite, Hunger Games. Bro, I honestly thought this guy here was the big bad, like the big bad guy. I mean, look at him, look at his eyes. You're telling me he's not evil? Yeah, so I was actually about to drop the show within the first 3 episodes. Then I remembered / watched some videos about people talking about Sonny Boy, and most people had positive reviews on it. Others just didn't know what was going on. And the fact that there were so many mixed opinions kind of reignited my interest to keep watching, because I just kind of wanted to know what was all the hype about. So some context for those that are still here and haven't watched Sonny Boy yet. Firstly, what are you doing? And secondly, Sonny Boy starts off with a school and a group of students transported into another world / dimension. Yes, the whole building. Then out of nowhere, some of the students start developing powers, and then they later learn that this new dimension that they're in is governed by a set of rules. So pretty much they don't know how they got here, they don't know how they got their powers, but what they do know is they all want to go home. So yeah, can you kind of understand why I kind of thought this part of the show was going to be a battle royale? Like, they started forming groups and alliances, and they started testing their powers out, and some of them test their powers out on each other. I mean, this guy hit someone with a fucking baseball bat. As time goes on, and as the students start to understand this world more and more, they come to a realization that they don't age. Their bodies are static, frozen in time, like some kind of limbo. And as days turn into weeks, weeks into months, months into years, nothing really happens. Some occupy themselves with menial tasks to waste time, while others still try to figure out a way to get home. And finally, this guy right here cracked the code, figured out a way to get home. And this part right here is where the big reveal happens, the big spoiler. So if you're going to watch Sonny Boy, this is the perfect time to stop and go watch it. Okay? You still here? Cool. Alright, we'll continue. The answer / code that they cracked wasn't actually a way to get home. In fact, it was actually a way to observe their original bodies continuing on with their lives from where they first drifted into this new world / dimension. Ultimately, learning the truth that they are all just perfect copies / replicas of the originals, the ones in the real world. And at this point is when the show started getting interesting. And this is where I got invested. Now learning the truth that they're all just replicas of the originals, all the students kind of just ask themselves this one question: is it still worth it to go back home? Faced with this question, you start to see different responses and reactions from each one of the students. And as they slowly figure this out, you also see them start to break off into different groups that align with their ideals and beliefs. There's one guy who wants to set off on his own solo journey. Some of the students have accepted that this is now their new reality and choose to venture off into this new world to find a new place they can call home. However, others feel lost and need guidance. Guidance from someone who they deem dependable, like an adult figure who looks like their old teacher, who is actually an imposter, by the way. And finally, the group that we follow, the group that believes it is still worth it to go back home. Sounds pretty interesting, right? Continuing on, as we follow our group drifting from one new world to the next, learning more and more about what they can and can't do, what is and isn't possible, you start to see them meet and interact with other students who are in the same situation as their own, all from the same school, however, all in different years and cohorts, and have been here way longer than they have. I mean, this guy here has been here for 5,000 years and somehow turned into a dog. What? These small interactions allow the students to share their stories, their experiences, and their outlooks on life. Some good, most bad. Actually, now thinking about it, they were actually all bad, but I won't get into that because it'll take way too long and my brain is already starting to hurt getting this far into the script. Like I mentioned in the intro, this isn't a review or explain video. This is strictly just my impressions and thoughts on the show, because there are loads of conclusions, theories, and hidden messages you can come to when watching Sonny Boy. I'm just not the type of guy that can or even is able to construct and build these elaborate, deep theories and explanations for you. What I'm trying to say is I'm kind of a little bit of a dumbass, but nonetheless, this was a simple conclusion that I came to when I finished watching Sonny Boy. And that conclusion was, life kinda sucks. I don't know if you believe in a higher being or some greater purpose for humanity, but I truly think that the show was trying to convey that in the end, the real world kinda sucks. Kinda booty. Kinda ass. Yeah. Well, let me explain my reasoning. At the end of the show, our main group, well, whatever's left of our main group, finally did it. They finally somehow flew a rocket to space and broke the space-time continuum and shattered the edge of reality of that universe. And for what? What was their big reward? What was the light at the end of the tunnel that they were so desperately trying to chase this whole time? Well, when they finally arrived home, they were met with a shitty 9-to-5 job, their grandmother's funeral, and a lonely night eating a microwavable box lunch from their local convenience store. Yeah, life sucks. It's kind of grim if you really think about it. Like, they put in all this time and effort, a lot of time, like 2,000 years worth of time, for such a shitty outcome. Honestly, it kind of makes you ask yourself, was it even worth it coming back into the real world? Was everything kind of just pointless in the end? Honestly, I don't think so. I don't think the efforts were meaningless. And I think maybe this is just my interpretation, but I think it was worth it. Because whether or not this was their desired outcome, they still chose to return. They wanted to return. And if they didn't return, they would have looked back on their decision and regretted it. Yes, the world that they returned to was kinda shit, but something has changed. They've changed. They've learned a lot and gained so many experiences that they now have a new perspective on life. Mizuho, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right, it's the girl with the black hair, is now willing to open up to people now, not just hiding away and talking to her cats. And Nagara, the main character, the quote-unquote Sonny Boy, is now more empathetic and just cares more about life. Not only does he care more about people and living creatures around him, but most importantly, he cares about himself more now. And yeah, the world around them is still the shitty, grim world that they left behind before, but they're handling it. They're handling it quite well. Every day, little by little, they keep moving forward. They keep making improvements. This is only possible because they choose to keep making improvements. They choose to keep moving forward. And finally, there's still one more point that Sonny Boy touches on that I kind of want to discuss before we close out the video. And that's the notion that life is meaningless and nothing we do really matters. And you know what? Sonny Boy kind of agrees with this notion. I mean, a little bit, just kinda. Once again, this is just my interpretation, so take it with like a shit ton of salt. But nearing the end, Raj Dahani, the scientist slash smart guy, says something to Nagara before he leaves.
It's true. The soul is just a human construct. The self exists for no reason, then it ultimately ceases to be. Life's a constant cycle of vain endeavors. But at the same time, since it is meaningless, then this moment of becoming is a precious and beautiful thing indeed. That one moment belongs to that person alone.
And what I kind of took from that was, nothing is guaranteed in this world. And the fact that you're here right now, listening to this, being able to wake up every morning and eat shit and piss, that in itself is a miracle. And
life in this world may be meaningless, but still, cool things happen every now and then. These moments are what keep me going.
And just one more point I just want to throw in here before I wrap up the video. It's just something that Sonny Boy touches on that I really like the message behind, and I feel like more people should hear about it. Yeah, life does suck, but being able to connect with other people would make life suck a little less. And forming these connections aren't really that hard. Just simply reach out your hand, smile, and simply ask,
Do you want to be friends with me once again?
Once again, thank you for anyone who made this far into the video, much love, and I still don't really know what type of content I should be making. I'm kind of just throwing shit at a wall and hopefully something sticks. I'm in this weird stage in life right now where I kind of don't know what I'm doing, but not in a bad way. Kind of more like there's so many options and pathways for the future that I kind of paralyzed in choice, and I don't really know which option would give me the best outcome. But I'm gonna own it and pick the path that I enjoy the most. And right now, what I enjoy the most is making shitty video essays about stuff that interests me. So yeah, see ya.